Alright, it's been a while, right? I haven't been delivering as much. The jobs just aren't there across a whole lot of different platforms. At least not for me. Sometimes we're supposed to do things that we're supposed to do. And if we don't put enough effort into those, it sure sounds like or seems like the Lord is willing to strip other things away from us. But anywho, as you can see, I'm in a graveyard, an old one. There is newer stuff well behind me, but I'm in an extremely old section here. I happen to be doing an Amazon run. It's first time. I don't know. I've done less than 10 this year, and it was one of my main sources of income. I digress. I'm way out. I saw this graveyard, and I'm like, that's cool. Well, that's interesting. Plenty of country graveyards I've seen before, but decided to pull over after I did this package because my route is done. I'm way out in the country. And I don't know, it went from a little bit of curiosity to I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop, right? It's getting late. The sun's going down. Sorry, trying to keep the sun out the camera. And then it was kind of like compelled, right? Not a voice per se, like pull over, but like when your friend gives you the look, or even your spouse, and it's like, you know what I want from you. You know what I think you should do. So I pull over, right? And I'm just kind of observing. I'm like, Lord, okay, here we are. Why am I here? Going for a walk with the Spirit, which, to be fair, I made it implicit on the way to my pickup, like, hey, I think it's implicit that I always want your company and want you to come with me. But, Lord, if you want to go deliver some packages, like, let's go, be with me. So we were going way out. Anywho, I'm here now in this place, and I'm trying to read these things, and I'm realizing a lot of them are like people dying at like the Civil War time. So many people born at like 1800, like start of 1800. But these tombstones, they're so worn out, you can't even read them. I'm a bit worn out, not a breath. I've been a bit under the weather, and I can't catch my breath. Right? It's weird. But I mean, you kind of read them. This one says Mary A. But other than that, I need some kind of chalk or charcoal or something like that, and some paper to be able to decipher any of these tombstones. But I can't read these people's names. There are a couple of flags here and there, right? So some of them are kept up or visited. The whole graveyard's mowed, right? It's kept up in that way. But the monuments are falling down. This one's in 5 or 6 pieces. This one's in 3. Little dog statue on top. The point is, though, is these people's names, they're lost to history. Unless their families remembering them, taking care of their graves, visiting them, that kind of thing. Not that I think ancestor worship is what we should be doing, right? But it's important to have touch points for our family, kind of know where we came from, know where our loved ones are buried, things like that. And anyway, the names and a bunch of the dates, like everything's illegible. It's largely unreadable on this side. Everything going that way is more modern. And I'm sure they have a little stuff that's older, but I feel weird even saying this. Felt weird doing it. Let's say that. But just like the Valley of Dry Bones, I'm literally in a country graveyard. I'm prophesying, I guess you would call it. I'm preaching to. It's not even bones, man. It's not even dry bones, bro. Like, 150 years plus old on some of these. I'm sure if I could read them all, 200. But I can't read their name. They're not remembered. But you know what? They're already with the Lord if they're in faith. Everybody's name, this kind of came across in my little sermon to the dead. Everybody's name, I feel like, starts off in the book, right? The book of life, because it talks about being blotted out. And I don't think that's like losing your salvation in the way of having it and losing it. That's a whole nother thing, right? But it's like, of all these graves, I'm sure there are plenty of infants, there are plenty of young children, there are plenty of people that were infirm, made infirm from, for instance, the Civil War or something different, or mentally infirm. But if they were in faith, they're made whole, which is an interesting proposition, right? Because if they're a kid, they're made whole in their identity without the fullness of time here. But I don't think they're babies in heaven. Just like I don't think somebody missing limbs is not made whole in heaven. I could be wrong on that. Jesus had wounds. I would love to go back and forth with somebody on that and see what we can uncover. But, the mentally infirm, they're made whole. They can think clearly. And the point is that Jesus knows our names, right? The Father remembers our names. It doesn't matter as things fade into history and the stone literally wears away to a blank slate. And it can't be read without some kind of extra help, or a lot of extra help in some of these cases. And the converse is true, right? For those people that died either not in the faith because they were not exposed to it, which, I mean, it's a little weird to consider that in America, but let's say possible. Or also there's an argument to be made about the correct gospel, right? So Lord have mercy on those people that died without coming to a saving knowledge of Jesus. Or, the opposite, making a clear choice to not accept him or embrace him coming, being our sacrifice and going back to the Father. But I think that in Lord's mercy and wisdom, I hope that he has some plan for these people, you know what I mean? Like ultimate annihilation, ultimate redemption. I'm sure there are some who, no matter what, would choose to not be with God, right? But if heaven is God's cosmic party, basically, for the bride of his church coming to him, there are people who don't want to be there, and he's not going to make them, ever, right? But just like in the valley of dry bones, he was telling them, rise up. I wasn't necessarily telling these bones, rise up, but I was telling them, just like Jesus is at the right hand of the Father, seated, and I'm pretty sure, and feel it in my bones, that the Lord's like, Jesus, get ready. Get ready. You're almost on. Get ready to stand up. And I mean, all these, what's weird, right, is these people aren't here. They're not here. They're not in their graves. They're not with their dust of what was bones and casket with some of their valuable stuff on them. I don't think any of them are here, right? Because this is just a container for the rest of us. It's important. I have more respect for the body than I did as a young kid, but I think Jesus is about to be told to stand up, and when that happens, like I was telling all these gents and gals, get ready. Probably gonna feel weird, maybe not. I don't know what heaven is like right now, but it's gonna be weird to suddenly be standing here, right? Or to be yanked out of this spot where your bones are. It's gonna be weird, but I don't know, man. I don't know why I'm recording this. I know I understand less of what just happened and what I just did, but I don't know. I hope when you guys see this, you're well, be well, comment below. Tell me what you think. And I know I'm not crazy. You know what I mean? I'm listening to the Lord. I'm constantly trying to invite Him. I didn't pull over knowing what I was going to say to a bunch of gravestones or what the Lord had to show me. But sometimes you gotta go on a walk with the Holy Spirit. And I think somebody like Taylor Welch might back me up on that, but don't tell him. I don't know what else to say. Go with God. Be blessed.